In 1990, one of the greatest comic book adaptations ever made burst onto the big screen. Warren Beatty's Dick Tracy. With its star-studded cast, bold colours, unforgettable villains, and a tidal wave of merchandise, this film became a short-lived but powerful cultural phenomenon. Now, more than 30 years later, this podcast is here to explore, unpack and dissect this brightly coloured masterpiece, week by week, scene by scene. So pull up a chair at the Southside Warehouse, because there's going to be a big payoff.
Hello and welcome to Talking Dick, the Dick Tracy movie podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Simon Creswell, and joining me is a man who will break your arm if you try and take $5 from the table, Mr.
James Tilling.
I always about to laugh when I say these stupid intros.
Yeah, no, exactly. I never know what you're going to say. So
Nor do I.
Surprise. Yes.
Making it up on the spot. How are you, James? Are you okay?
Yes, very, very good. Thank you. Yeah, keeping
in the heat here in the UK. You were looking after yourself, yes?
I know. You're right. It is. It's an unusual amount of heat. I feel like I'm like Dick Tracy, stuck in the boiler room, waiting for the kid to get me out.
You start wearing a Dick Tracy hat from the sun.
I should do. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
that's what I need.
I rewatched Dick Tracy only last night, actually. And when I was watching it, we spoke the other day about whether all the shots were static. And I was looking specifically for any shots where the camera was moving. But when you meet Breathless, the camera kind of pans into her, which I didn't remember. She's dancing.
When it, like the track
as she
like
turns
into
around,
her
yeah.
on the stage.
That's one. And then there was one where they came out of the boiler room building, I think, and the camera followed them down the steps to the car. So that was like two. I think there was one more. So there wasn't many, but it just helped.
No.
Yeah, we understand that not every shot was static, which is what we thought might be the case.
Yeah. They mixed a few in
and
there.
another shout out. The guy who stood out for me this time was the guy in the diner. Is it Mike? I want to say Mike. He works in the diner.
Oh,
the oldest guy, and he's just he's got Tracy down to a T. He just understands Tracy's character, and he watches him and Tess. He's just like, just propose.
You know what? In my head as a kid, he was exactly the same guy behind in the diner as in Back to the Future.
Oh yeah.
I can't. I mean, I'm sure they're absolutely not the same actor. But it's because they're just in that similar. I know it's not 50s diner, but it's that still the same get up with the white hat.
Yeah, well, very similar. Yeah, 50s, 40s, 30s. It's all it's all that kind of era, isn't it?
Yeah.
But every time I watch that, some characters stand out more than others. But he was one that stood out on this watch, and I thought, will he get his own episode? Yeah. Probably not. But I thought
episode 329,
the guy in the diner. Didn't get the action figures. But anyway, let me start with some correspondence because we've got a few bits I'd like to discuss. Nice. So Eric Robert McLean sent us a picture of the Warren Beatty handprints and footprints from Hollywood, which looked like they were signed in 1998, which I thought was pretty cool. I think you've been to Hollywood, haven't you? But I don't know if you saw Warren's prints.
Yes. Yeah. You know what? I think right at the time, I don't remember that. I was pretty a little bit kind of young and I was looking for Arnold Schwarzenegger or something instead. But I should have been looking for Warren. I suppose I wonder if that could have been when he did Bulworth. That was 98, wasn't it?
Good shout.
So I wonder if that was during the premiere of Bulworth.
When you go there, is it quite hard to find these handprints? Are they kind of scattered like about amongst like a mile of paving stones? Or?
No. So that outside, I still call it the Man's Chinese Theatre, but I think it has a different name now. But
Kodak, isn't it? Is it a Kodak?
Like Promenade. The Kodak's theatre where they used to do the Oscars, but it's still, the facade is the same. I think it just changed name. But all of the kind of like outside kind of patio paved area out the front is all of the hand and footprints. So everyone's just kind of like walking over them all.
Don't touch Warren's, people. Just walk round it. Just, won't last forever.
Actually.
Dan Campling commented on the picture we put up of the old car. You saw like an old car, which was like, like it could be from the film. And he said, when I was a kid, I called all antique cars like this Dick Tracy cars.
Yes.
I like that. Has to stick.
I still do. I still do. That's when I saw that. That's all I thought.
I used to call people in like trench coats who were like, I don't know, teenagers, like the Dick Tracy gang at school. Because if they had like a trench coat, it was quite different. So I called them Dick Tracy gang. Our friend Monty Howell, when we posted the images of the standees at Disney, where you got your photo taken in Florida, we had one with your sister standing in one, and Brian shared one, didn't he, that his family were in. Well, he found another one online. He said, I found this one online many years ago. I think it was posted by a cast member who worked at Disney MGM. So it's just a completely different one again, Oh,
wow. That's cool.
Wouldn't it be great if these were still around somewhere in storage?
Oh, wow. Oh, I know, that would be amazing. But it's that effort to do all of that, because I think, like, as we discussed in that episode, that they thought that stuff was going to be around for a lot longer than it was. So it's like now all the effort they made to kind of create those standees, and then they probably just got either chucked or repainted and repurposed into something else.
They probably turn up as like the Little Mermaid or Beauty and the Beast 6 months later.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, scratch off Little Mermaid's face and look what's underneath it.
Yeah,
it's Big Boy.
On our Sam Catchum episode, someone known as Nowhere Manchild writes, I can't think of any other Sam merchandise, though it's still 2 more things than Pat got.
Yep. Very, very right. Yeah. Poor Pat.
Literally 0.
There is, I know. Don't worry, we're going to give him his moment to shine when we do an episode.
I thought we were skipping the Pat episode. Are we doing that, yeah?
Oh, don't tell him.
We will do a Pat episode, absolutely, for those Pat fans.
No, of course we will. Yeah.
Some more comments. Someone, Skylord59 writes on the Flat Top short, I always loved how at the end, Flat Top, when he was trying to kill Tracy, would just die trying to come out of the car and just being gunned down and didn't care.
Yeah, he did. He accepted his fate, didn't he? He was like, I'm quite literally going to go out in a blaze of glory.
Just went for it. I'm going to kill you, Tracy, and whatever.
Yeah.
Holdfast 2628 writes, great episode, fellas. I recently found your podcast and I listened to everything up to date in the past week and a half and want to thank you guys for rekindling my love for Dick Tracy. Keep up the great episodes and checking in from sunny Florida. Jim, I don't think I've read that before. If I have, second shout out for you, Jim.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep hearing that all day. That's our motivation.
My favourite comment comes from our good friend Jedi Yoda Bush. Jesse, who writes, and this is a big question for you, James. Why is Mumbles not wearing pants when he's being interrogated?
That's a brilliant point. Why is he? Because he comes out after the interrogation and he's holding. In my mind, he was holding a weight, but that's just because the figure came with that weight dumbbell thing. But you're right. I think he's just holding
clothes. He's sweating.
Pants,
his suit is stuck to him because he's under the hot light. But is he like, I'm so hot, can I take my pants off, my trousers off? Or does they pick him up from like in the middle of the shower or like home? I don't know. I don't quite understand.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure I remember reading somewhere that there was the scenes with the interrogation. I don't know if they shot it or they'd written it down, that Tracy was going to rough him up a bit. I think there's a point he kind of gets him up against the wall, but I think he was going to kind of give him a bit more of a shoe-in. And either that was cut or whatever, but maybe part of the shoe-in was that he pulls his trousers off.
I mean, the scene is even more sexual because the polar bear has got the tap between its legs. The polar bear's it's got his arms up and his legs, and it's got the tap in the middle. So I don't know what Warren was trying to achieve there.
No, you could probably some crazy Freudian route we might want to go down. But yeah, you're right. We'll have to do a little bit of more thinking about that one, and I suppose
unless there's a deleted scene where they shot him I don't know, ironing his trousers when he gets arrested, and that's why maybe that. But they just thought,
or he was in the. Or maybe he was like in the middle, he was on the toilet and Tracy, but no, get into the interrogation room, and just literally just dragged him straight in. Didn't even give him time to put his trousers up.
Anyway, it's a great question, Jesse. We don't have the answer, but
it is.
Any more questions like that about Dick Tracy, we want to hear them.
Yeah.
Let's, as detectives, let's unpick it and work out what's going on together. That's it for my correspondence. But no, please keep emailing in, writing in. It's great to hear all this feedback.
Yeah.
Which brings us on then to our topic of the week, which is the wonderful Glenne Headly as Tress. I've messed it up already. The wonderful Glenn Headly as Tess Trueheart. James, have you got an introduction for us on the lovely... I'm saying it again. Tess Trueheart. God, I've turned into big boy.
Yeah.
I hold a thought.
Today, we're shining a spotlight on the late Glenne Headly, an actress whose talent, warmth and understated screen presence brought depth to every role she played. While Headley built an impressive career across film, television and theatre, many movie fans remember her as Tess Trueheart, the devoted partner of Dick Tracy. In a film filled with larger-than-life gangsters, bold colours and unforgettable performances from stars like Warren Beatty, Al Pacino, Madonna, Headley had the challenging task of grounding the story emotionally. As Tess Trueheart, the loyal, intelligent and patient love interest of Detective Dick Tracy, she brought sincerity and heart to the world that often felt larger than reality. Throughout this episode, we'll explore how Glenne Headly approached the role, why her performance remains one of the film's most overlooked strengths, and how she managed to hold her own amid one of the most ambitious ensemble casts of the era. We'll also look at her wider career, from her acclaimed stage work at Chicago's Steppenwolf Theatre Company to beloved performances in films such as Dirty Rotten Scoundrels and Mr. Holland's Opus. So grab your fedora, step back into the bold, colourful world of 1990s Dick Tracy, and join us as we celebrate the life, career and enduring legacy of Glenne Headly, Hollywood's Tess Trueheart.
Covered pretty much all the points I was going to cover, but we need to think about these intros as being like teasers, but yeah. But what you didn't include in that, James, is that she was married to someone famous in the 80s. Did you read that anywhere?
I don't know. I know what. My research didn't cover that part. So go on, please.
I shall give you a clue.
Who was it?
Make a move and the bunny gets it. I might be misquoting that.
Oh, oh God. Nicolas Cage film.
Correct.
Con Air? So, John Malkovich.
Yeah. She was married to John Malkovich for 6 years. Yeah, there they are.
Kidding.
Yeah.
God.
I just read that in my research. Then she married again in the 90s and had a son with, I can only assume she stayed with the gentleman until later life. But yeah, there's lots of random pictures of John Malkovich. He looks hard work online. He looks really pretentious. It's just, yeah. But I don't know what he's like in real life. No disrespect to John Malkovich, a good actor, if nothing else. So anyway, she moved around quite a bit, didn't she? I read, and she settled in New York, which is where she began the acting. Is that right? Is that what you kind of read up on as well?
I think so, yeah. So she was in this Chicago's Steppenwolf Theatre Company, I think she was like a patron of it. I think it started in 1976 and she carried on doing plays there till 2005. I think it's quite well respected in the theatre world. And after that went into lots of different TV.
Is it Steppenwolf Theatre Company?
Sorry, it's Steppenwolf Theatre Company.
And that's where she met Malkovich, actually. I was just reading that online.
Oh, right, okay. I didn't.
So she gets her big breaks in the 80s. She does a few kind of minor films, and then she has a big hit, doesn't she, with the incredible Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, which I've got here on DVD.
It was Steve Martin and Michael Caine.
Yeah, and I watched in preparation for this. I had never seen it in full. I think I'd seen, 20 minutes here, half an hour there. But have you seen it? Have you ever watched that film?
I think it's one of those films that I've caught 10 minutes here and there over the years, and I flicked around, and it's just caught me for a moment. Are they like con men or something?
Yeah, I think they target rich women essentially, and Michael Caine and Steve Martin's characters do it independently. Then they come together, they have a bit of a feud, and they use Glenn Headley's character as a sort of bet to try and make £50,000 off her. And then when it gets to the end of it, she's conning them. Spoiler, shouldn't have said that. I should have been like, spoiler.
Oh, yeah.
So she's really good in it, actually. She's very good because she's very subtle to start with and very like, oh, I'm a poor woman. Oh, no. And then by the end of it, you're seeing that she's very smart and conning them. And it's a good performance. And I did read online that she won an award for it, actually. She didn't win many awards or wasn't nominated for any like Oscars or anything like that, but she did win an award for this. It was a CFCA, so Chicago Film Critics Association Award, Most Promising Actress, and she won that in 1989.
Oh, wow.
So that was kind of cool.
That's cool.
But I had a look through. I mean, she did Purple Rose of Cairo, which I think is a Woody Allen film. Seize the Day, Paper House. She was in the TV show Lonesome Dove. Getting Even with Dad with Macaulay Culkin. Mr. Holland's Opus. Babe 2, Babe Pig in the City. She was in an episode of Frasier. And more kind of weirdly, she's in one part in The X-Files.
Yeah, I read that, but it was the X-Files movie,
Fight the
wasn't
Future,
it? From 98, I think. Yeah, but uncredited as a bartender.
Yeah, well, I think I read she was just a big fan of the show.
So
it was just like a little cameo.
Oh, right.
Which is even cooler. I love the fact she was a fan of the X-Files.
Yeah, that is cool.
So yeah, if everyone watches X-Files, the first movie, then you look out for her little kind of bartender cameo. But she worked consistently, didn't she, throughout her whole life? She always had work.
Yeah,
a bit like when we spoke about Flat Top and Sam Catchin, talk about their characters. I'm talking about them as if they're real people.
They're real. They are to us.
But yeah, they've all worked hard for years, and sit off the back of this movie. And I like the fact he got these actors in that were just, they just love acting and doing different roles and different things. And I think she's
and as you said, she worked all the way up to the end. Like it was films that one or two films came out in the final year in 2017.
Even then, yeah.
So
before we get to her demise, though.
Yes.
But Tess Trueheart, obviously that role. So we've mentioned it before. That was actually offered to Sean Young, wasn't it?
It was, yes. Yeah, I read that. So that she was the first choice to play Tess. I believe that Warren was really, really fond of her, and I don't know if that was just because of her acting ability or he had a thing for her, which was not uncommon in a lot of films that Warren starred in. You'd get with his co-stars, but she filmed apparently some scenes. She did something like 5 or 6 days on set, and then when they started reviewing the rushes, decided this doesn't work. So they then got Glenne Headly in and reshot all of those scenes and the remaining
You think Sean
scenes.
Young's the bigger star, isn't she? She's in Blade Runner, isn't she? And so she's coming off the back of some big hits. And she's for me, she's not nowhere near as good as Glenne Headly, but that's just personal preference. Maybe I'm just biased. In this Premiere magazine here, there was a little bit of an article about that. It said, BT hired Sean Young to play Tess Trueheart, Tracy's main squeeze, in spite of the fact that everyone told him not to, according to a source. You get so used to hearing people say no to things you're right about. You get to the point where you have to follow your own instincts, says the source. In this case, he was wrong. The script has Tracy and Tess sort of adopting a character called the Kid, so there had to be a maternal element in Tess's character. When Young read with the boys who auditioned for the part of the Kid, Warren sensed already that she didn't have empathy with the children, recalls Goodman. He knew he was in for big trouble. Young was in the midst of her knockdown drag-out with James Woods. I don't know what that means. And according to one source, Beatty was worried it would ruin her life if he let her go. He didn't feel it was her fault. It was the only time I ever heard Warren say, I fucked up. When Young exited 3 weeks into production, he hired Glenne Headly. So, yes. Sorry for swearing there. I'm just quoting the magazine. But
But yeah, I couldn't find out how Glenne managed to get picked. I don't know, like how, I guess maybe she was just on the short list and it was like, shit, we've got to find the next person. And she was just the next one on the list and came straight in.
I mean, she is perfect for me. When I was rewatching the film and just looking at her kind of sense of kindness and warmth towards the Kid, especially as we just kind of spoke about. she's just almost like the heart of the story, isn't she? She's the moral conscience of Dick Tracy.
Yes. Yep.
And I can't think of anyone in that era, taking Sean Young out of it, who would play that better. Can you think of anyone else?
Yeah. No. I can't think of anyone.
Maybe
That could play
Patricia
that.
Arquette. Yeah, Arquette, who could be quite good at it.
She's
got
got
that vibe. But the voice as well of Glenne Headly, her kind of like soft-spoken voice, reminds me a little bit of Jennifer Tilly, from Bound.
Yes.
Straight with Bound.
Yeah.
Classic. And obviously Bride of Chucky. But she's got that soft-spoken like American voice that is quite hard to do. Must be quite hard to replicate that.
Yeah, it is. Because it kind of sounds a bit like a character voice, doesn't it? Like it doesn't. You think is that actually her actual voice, or is that a character voice that she's?
I think it is her voice because it's very similar in Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. She's got a kind of similar voice, but I just think for that character it works, and obviously the hair. She's got the red hair in the film, isn't she, as well? But I guess that might be dyed.
Yeah. But she needed to be really different to Breathless as well. And it's like if you'd hired another like Kim Basinger or something, it would just be too.
And Warren
similar,
would be in his element, though, wouldn't he?
Wouldn't it?
Yes.
Well, he would do, wouldn't he? He would have rewritten the script so he gets both of them.
Put me between Madonna and Kim Basinger,
yeah.
No, but it's actually a key bit of casting because there's a lot of people in the film are hideous, and made up in makeup, and Tess is the completely, normal. I mean, even Madonna, even though she's not wearing prosthetics, she's very much glamorous, and her hair's done, and her earrings and makeup, and obviously she plays the blank. Yes. But Tess is just a normal human being in this weird comic book world.
It is a bit like, what on earth are you doing here? But you're right. It's used that grounding element to all of it, especially Tracy, obviously.
Yeah. Did you find much out about the comic book character of Tess Trueheart? Did you see online anything about
that? I did find a little bit about that. So she first appeared in it in October the 12th, 1931. So she appeared pretty early on. I think I read that. So she starts off, so she's like dating Tracy, but before he was a cop, he's round their house. A guy comes in and come and rob them, and Tess's father gets shot and killed. And then Tracy then goes on the kind of rampage to go and find this guy and track him down, and he catches him, and Tess gets kidnapped as well, and he saves her. So it's a long story. And then that's how then Tracy, when Chief Brannon says to him, "Oh, you're so good, you could be a plainclothes cop." And then that's, I believe, how he becomes then a cop, basically.
So she's key. She's key to all of it, really.
And she is. And that the loss of her father, I don't think it's like specifically mentioned in the film that her father died, but you don't see him. You see the mother when she goes to go and see her later on, but the dad, you never actually see him. So
the characters here, Emil Trueheart is the father who's deceased, but the mother is Mrs. Trueheart. She hasn't got a first name.
Yeah.
But they did get married in the comics then, didn't they? They are actually married. Yeah,
they did. Yeah, so that's right. He like proposed to her, I think, just like over dinner or something. So again, like in the movie when it was, just in the diner and just. You're one in a million and throws it. So they kind of kept that kind of similar to his proposal, still very like, off the cuff in the moment. But it seemed that they had quite a tumultuous relationship in the comic. Obviously going on for like 30 years, but they're forever arguing and they break up. And then I
did read somewhere they had a fight and then Tracy got arrested. And I was like, that sounds a bit dark. Like,
yeah. And again, the more stuff I find out about the comic, you're like, oh god, the comic was a lot darker than I thought it was, and I guess how the film could have potentially have been.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at pictures of her here, and I assume this is Tess, but she's got her backside out in this one. It's like you say, it's not the comic I thought it was in my head. I thought it was like like the funny pages on a Sunday morning. But no, I mean, if you go and look online and read up on Tess, I mean, we don't know much about the comics, as we said from day one. There's so much about her. She is like one of the key characters, and in the TV pilot in '67, she was going to be played by Davy Davison. It says here, so she was going to be in that in a very '60s look. Looks like she's in Archie's TV Funnies as well, whatever that might be. And then it goes on to the movie. So she's not got a great amount of stuff outside of Dick Tracy, but she does keep turning up in the comics. She's still in the comics to this day.
Yeah, because her character has just kept on going and going. And I believe as well, there's like quite in the Dick Tracy Goes to War book, which was the kind of rumor to be the basis of Dick Tracy 2, if it had ever happened. And there's like a whole stuff in that where apparently she meets up with like 88 Keys and they become friends because he's now just gone back to being a piano player. But then subsequently he betrays her and she gets kidnapped, which is such an ongoing thing. She just gets kidnapped all the
classic,
time.
Like female under threat. Yeah.
Femme fatale,
I've got the woman. The woman has been kidnapped. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but in that he says that here's a line to say like Tess came to trust 88 Keys, which eventually enabled him to kidnap her and deliver her to the Nazi agent Mrs. Pruneface.
I think someone mentioned that on our group actually. Yeah, the Mrs. Pruneface thing.
Yeah,
I need to read that. Just a little fact here: in issue 4 of Mad Cave Studios' ongoing Dick Tracy comic books, that's the most recent one. Tess used the alias Miss Headley. This was apparently a reference to Glenne Headly, who had played Tess in the 1990 film.
Oh, cool, that's nice touch. There.
So, when we go back to the film, then, when you were a kid watching this film, what were your thoughts on Tess?
I say it's that thing again. Watching it as a kid, a character is like very kind of motherly, and she seems very kind of quite meek to start with. With Tracy not really kind of doing much, but when she's with the kid, and it's the scene when they go get the ice cream, and she gets the baseball, or like she gets the rubbish, doesn't she? And pitches it like a baseball, hits the lid, and it's like, oh, she's pretty cool as well, actually, and like it's good fun. So like her character definitely kind of grows and starts to kind of come out, and the kid like facilitates that. Like with as their bond grows, she kind of comes out a bit out of her shell.
When the kid says to her, I don't like dames or something, and she says, yeah, neither do I.
Yeah, that's it.
So like, kind of implying that actually I'm not a dame.
Yes.
Don't cross me.
That's right. Yeah. Well, and also at the diner as well. Tracy puts the tip down, and then he leaves, and as she like looks to say goodbye to Tracy, the kid leans over and takes it. And he thinks, she's not seen it. And she just gives him the look of like, put it back down. Like,
well, like I said at the start to you, she goes, I'm going to break your arm unless you put that back, How would you like a broken arm?
I'll tell Pat to call the orphanage.
You two married?
No. Would you like a broken arm?
I don't like dames.
Good. Me neither.
So it's like you're really motherly 1 minute, and now you're threatening to break a kid's arm.
All right, Tess, he's been like abused by Steve the Tramp. He's got no parents. Like cut him some slack. But she's like, well, this is all this kid understands. Threats of violence.
But I suppose that's the thing. She realises I can speak to him on his level. If I speak to him in his level, then we'll get a mutual respect, which is exactly what happens. Rather than say, I'm going to turn you into this like super good boy. It's like, that's not going to happen.
And it's funny you mentioned the ice cream scene because that's one of her key moments in terms of her acting. Because she has to portray being absolutely broken and destroyed by seeing Tracy kiss Breathless, but hold it together. And then she goes through the room and sits down on a chair, doesn't she? And she just kind of like lowers her head. It's a very subtle scene, but she's holding. She won't in front of the boy and Tracy show her feelings. So it reminds me of that scene in Love Actually where Emma Thompson and Alan Rickman, she realises he's cheating when she gets the Joni Mitchell CD, and she goes upstairs and just has a moment in the bedroom and cries before going back down. And I thought, you've robbed that from Dick Tracy. Tess having her moment with the ice cream and sort of holding it together and taking a moment.
That's it.
Any American listeners are like, what is Love Actually? Well, in the UK, Love Actually is on at Christmas about once a day. It's It has been so for 20 years.
Yeah, just on repeat.
Richard Curtis film.
Yeah.
But no, but I mentioned earlier about as a kid, I didn't like her. I found her very boring. I did not connect with the character. She was basically, oh yeah, great, your mum's in the film, brilliant, your mum's on the screen. Yeah, did nothing for me. And then as an adult, and as a parent, I'm just like, oh, I'm Team Tess. How dare you betray Tess Tracy?
Yeah, exactly. She's so good,
Yeah,
so devoted.
what
What are you doing? But I think you're completely right. As a kid, she's just merely there to be kidnapped, to kind of play out the final scene in the movie. Because it's like, well, who else would Tracy go to all that effort to save? The kid would obviously as well, but they're like the only.
Well,
two.
he's broken, isn't he? In this, when she goes, all the cops are like, he's pining for Tess. He's waiting by the phone for her, isn't he? You know, and then he gets the fake note to go and meet her at the florist.
When she works
isn't
at the
she?
florist. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's
and
it.
obviously doesn't meet her and he gets drugged. But yeah, he just runs straight off to meet her, doesn't he? He doesn't even think about it being a setup or anything.
Yeah. And that shows you that they knew that he would do that he'd go on to her. I was thinking as well, in the kind of scene with her prior to that, when she leaves and she drives off, I think, into like the sunset, I think, to go and see her mum. But you've got 88 Keys and Breathless. Aren't they singing the song over the top? Like, was it like, where would she go?
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
Really badly done.
No, but you're right, yeah.
Yeah. So she gets that song over that sequence. She also has Tess's theme, which is actually a track, which is, you said when we did the music episode, that's one of your favourite tracks. So, you know, like she's so intertwined into other scenes.
I listened to it when I'm eating ice cream.
As well. Yeah.
And have
That's
a moment.
The only way you can have ice cream. Yeah.
Tess's song. I think, and then she has a key moment where she goes to see her mum, doesn't she? Where she goes and she leaves for a bit.
That's right.
Because when I was watching the film yesterday, I was thinking like, well, hang on, it gets to Christmas quite early. Yeah, it's Christmas because they give the kid a baseball glove, like it's clearly a Christmas present, and the film ends in New Year. So there's this week between Christmas and New Year where all this is happening. So, because I thought she went to her mum's for like, I don't know, months, but it seems to be essentially a weekend. Unless the film takes place between Christmas one year and New Year's Eve the next year, which I can't see it does. Maybe it does, but
no. Yeah, you're right. It is a little ambiguous, but in looking at it now, I think it actually is a couple of days. I think that's.
And they're pining like teenagers, waiting by the phone.
Yeah. And isn't it like her mum tells her, like, go get him back or something? And then that's why she then decides and changes her mind.
Yeah, well,
comes back.
funny enough, in this Premiere magazine, there's an interview with Glenn Headly about them shooting the scene at the mum's with the muffins. They're making muffins, and it says that she really struggled shooting the scene with the line, "Can I put some muffins in a paper bag, mother? I'm going back tonight." And Headley challenged Warren Beatty and said, you know, would I say mother? That seems very formal. And she had like 14 takes. She just couldn't get this right. And in the end, she dropped the word muffins. So she just said, can I put some in a paper bag, mother? I'm going back tonight. I need to check in the film which take is in there. But apparently she nailed it once she dropped the word muffins. So, it fell together. But she just talks a little bit about the scene and it seems like it's quite playful. Like Warren Beatty's trying to like encourage her to do the take. She's putting her tongue out at him. I mean, I'd love to see that footage. That'd be amazing, wouldn't it? To see these outtakes of him directing her. But just, again, in a magazine, going back to paper articles, because none of this stuff is online. But these reporters from these magazines would have been on set, I guess, at the time. So they've got exclusive stuff that we're reading about in 2026 that's not on the internet.
And getting those interviews, sure, that does happen today, but it doesn't feel like as much. I guess because lack of people taking cameras and pictures. Maybe the journalists were given so much more access. You can write whatever you like. You just can't release it until after the film was out. And then
quite possibly. I mean, she didn't do a lot of publicity, did she, for this? She's not in a great deal of publicity.
No, she just did. She was at the Florida premiere.
Right.
she's there for that because that's why she does the handprints, which no one knows where they are. But that was it. I don't think she attended anything else.
Yeah. She's certainly not on the publicity trail, but she did turn up to that premiere you mentioned with the kid and Tracy, didn't she? Again,
that's right.
Warren Beatty and Charlie. I don't know why I'm calling everyone by their characters. It's the kid. So that was kind of cool to see. I like that she got a little moment at the premiere.
Yeah, but I just think go back to the story. So when she comes back when she leaves her mum's and heads back, the next time you see her, she's now already been kidnapped, hasn't she?
Yeah.
I tried to think of this earlier, and it was because she gets kidnapped by the blank and possibly 88 Keys as well, and gets put up in the room at the top of the Ritz. But you don't actually see how that unfolds.
No,
do
I
you?
think she's on her way back to see Tracy, and somehow she's intercepted and taken.
Yeah,
because no one knows where she is.
Yeah.
Again, that scene I don't think is in the film.
Yeah.
There's no reference point to her being kidnapped. But you don't need it. You get the idea. Because Big Boy's as surprised, isn't he?
Because it's a setup. It's a setup.
So it must have been the blank and 88 Keys that took her. But that's you're right. It's not actually that clear how she gets up there. Is she drugged?
No.
You know.
Yeah, to walk all the way in the building past everyone, get up there. I know these are nitpicking points now. You don't need to know it. You just accept it. But then when I guess I'm thinking of it of like, what more footage could there be? Was there a scene of Itchy and Flat Top crashing in, or no? It wouldn't be them. It'd be 88 Keys and the blank intercepting, like to get another scene with them together or something.
And then she runs all the way from there, all the way with Big Boy to the end, doesn't she? You know, she's key in the final kind of act of the film. I've always thought she could take Big Boy though, because he's so small and hunched over. Yeah, I'm thinking and she throws that baseball or that thing in the rubbish bin, doesn't she? Earlier in the film, with force. I think probably take Big Boy, but obviously,
I guess, but. Yeah, they're just trying, because he has a gun, she's just like, oh, I'm just not going to do anything because what might he do? But even when he ties her up on the big giant cogs in the gear house, she doesn't really resist any of it. I think we've said this before. She just looks totally bemused by the complete crazy ramblings that Big Boy is on. It's like it's become slightly hypnotic.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know what to do about this. But one of the best scenes, there's a few in there, but the one that always sticks out to me is that when they then escape the Ritz, go through the secret door in the wine cellar, and then go on that little like trail cart. And he's like, I'm not, I didn't want to kidnap you. I'm not going to kidnap you. I'm not kidnapping you. Okay, I'm kidnapping you.
He tells her he loves her as well, doesn't he?
They say I kidnapped you. I didn't kidnap you, but I'm kidnapping you now. Oh, there's life in the art. So many questions, so few answers. What a way to usher in the...
He does, yeah.
That's it. That's the only time they meet, isn't it? They don't meet any other time. They just meet at the end.
No, they don't. Yeah, but it's kind of mad. They actually have so much time together during that whole sequence, and it just feels like, I think that Al went on one as Big Boy in that, and just must have just it felt like he ad-libbed so many of those lines. He was so in character. So it's like, this is just gold. Just, you've got to put this all in.
She is the heroine in distress, but she's also at the same time, like you say, bemused by him. She's not screaming, Tracy, help me. She's just sort of like, okay, he's got a gun, I'll go with him. Like, where's this going? You know, she doesn't kind of like cry or anything like that. She just, gets on. But I still would like to see her throwing him over the edge at the end. That would have been quite cool. She hit him with a wrench and he went flying.
Yeah.
I mean, Tracy's married to his job, and she accepts that.
Yeah.
And the whole film is her basically being like, I'm over here. Hello.
Don't forget
to
me.
our point, we were saying about the guy in the diner is literally like, Tracy, look at Tess. Like, come on.
But even said the scene right at the beginning when they were first walking to the diner after going to the opera, and she's like saying to Tracy, the city needs you. You keep the city safe because you're here. Don't worry, you'll catch Big Boy. Like, encouraging him. And then she says a line as well of like, she mixes up the word life and wife. Like, you just need to have a wife.
Yeah.
I mean, a life.
Brandon says you'd make a wonderful chief of police.
Desk job.
What's so bad about a desk job anyway? You think if you sit at a desk, you're plain and safe. But Tracy, if you weren't out in the street every night risking your neck, you could have a wife. I mean alive.
Nobody's gonna put big boy Caprice behind bars sitting behind a desk.
It's kind of implying like that's what she wants. She wants to be proposed to. She wants to be his wife.
He needs her in his life to keep him grounded. But he doesn't know how to approach it because he's just the worst at dating, isn't he? As we said before.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, she's his Achilles heel, isn't she? You know, she's his kryptonite. I think as well, though, I was going to mention the costumes because she wears a lot of red and black throughout the film. We mentioned the costumes before. I think she's only ever in like a couple of colours. I think she wears a green outfit at one point, doesn't she?
Yeah, I think in the montage where the kid gets his baseball glove and they're playing pool and Chuck's did, she's kind of wearing from memory, a bit more of like a florally dress. And like her hair's done a bit different. And that's the one shot that she just seems very different. But it seems like it's super relaxed. Like this is the weekend off and we're just enjoying ourselves.
And she wears that black top with like the coloured dots across it. Which when she's kind of casual, when she's not wearing a coat and a hat, she's got this kind of like casual black top with the dots. Again, all the colours are the colours we'd expect. But I think we read somewhere on one of our episodes, didn't we, about the red of Tess meaning something or other, and I can't remember what it means. But
I think wasn't it like the red of the sunset, the yellow of the coats, mix them together, you get the warmth of Tess Trueheart, like wasn't it? It was
poetry. But no, I think she's really great in this. And actually, I wouldn't have minded a couple more scenes. Really, I could have happily had a couple more Tess scenes, or a longer sequence with her and Big Boy. Maybe he takes her off for a couple of days.
Yes,
and they're out in the woods or somewhere. And imagine the kind of comedy duo where he's taking her away, but it all happens quite quickly.
Or if she tried to fight back and partly escaped, and then it chased her down and bring her back again, like show a moment that she did try to get away. Maybe.
And as a character, when they did the promotion for the film, there's lots of posters for the main actors. I don't know if Tess gets one. I don't recall her having a poster. There's a lot of fan-made ones as well now. It's hard to know which ones.
Yes, the fan-made ones are amazing.
But she didn't get a figure. Obviously, she's got no Playmates figure, which is sad. But then again, as a kid, I wouldn't have bought it. I wouldn't have had that. Well, we probably would have had the set, but what are you going to do with a figure of Tess?
But she's one of a handful of women in this film, really, with speaking parts. Obviously, with her, Madonna, like Kathy Bates, I think just goes, what? Like just one line or one word, and that's
and you've got the dancers.
Catherine O'Hara, like she doesn't say anything. She's there, so it's kind of crazy. She's the second leading lady in this movie. Jointly probably with Breathless, because there is
Madonna's the star. She's got the screen presence. Absolutely. But I think Tess is a good counter to that. They're very yin and yang, aren't they? And I love their little meeting when they meet, and she says like, "Hello, Miss Mahoney," isn't she, or something, and she's like, "Hello, Miss Trueheart." And they have a little kind of crossing of the streams, don't they? Where they're like, they don't react or kind of give each other the evils. They just kind of respond as she walks out,
But I think at the end of the movie, when the blank mask is lifted and finds out it's Breathless, I don't think she's that worried about it. I think if anything, she's gone.
Oh no! Oh, never mind. Shoot her again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You find there was a scene later when she knew who it was and pushed the blank in front. Yeah. You all along.
And there was one other scene with her where she was like sleeping and he comes in late and then she has to, because she's looking after the kid. And then she wakes up and her hair's a bit of a mess, and then she kind of like goes, "I've got to get to the florist for 5:30."
Yeah, and he's like, Tracy goes, "I'll take you," doesn't he? And she's like, "No, it's fine."
She gives him a long kiss at the door. And it's probably the only intimate moment they have. I don't know. They don't really kiss but that's the kind of most natural moment between them. Yeah. But just when she's babysitting a kid he's just found.
It's that and the diner scenes, isn't it? They're the scenes when and that's like their place, the diner. It's just the two of them are sitting side by side. They feel like they're a couple in those moments.
Yeah. Well, they don't eat at home, do they? They just seem to go to the diner for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So it's all kind of wage Tracy's on, but. So she has no merchandise apart from one item, which is the car. She has a toy car, Tessa's car, which we'll do the
that's true.
the Ertl, how that's pronounced, Ertl cars. When we cover those, we'll talk about that. But yeah, that's the only piece of actual official Tess merchandise she can get, I think. And I don't remember her driving a car, does she?
Yeah. No, when she goes to and from her mum's, that's when she's driving, isn't she?
So she has got, and it's a red car. I think it's red.
Yeah, for that brief moment.
But that's it. If you're a fan of Tess, I did see there's a doll online, a Tess Trueheart doll, not connected to the film, but you can get like a Tess Trueheart doll.
Yeah.
So there might, and a badge. I think you might be able to get some actual merchandise from the comics, but not essentially from the film. So yeah, shame. I mean, now's the time to revive it, isn't it? If they bring back these figures, give us a Tess, like key character we don't have.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And it's saying before with the book, how that if if they ever did a second movie, whatever that would be, she would absolutely be in it. Tracy, Tess, and the kid are the absolute, three mainstays who would definitely be in it. So, it's possible that her role could have been branched out and done more, and she would just got kidnapped again
by a different bad guy.
Yeah, exactly. Mrs. Pruneface, apparently.
That's the fight I want to see, Mrs. Pruneface versus Tess.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts on Glenne Headly before we move on? Obviously, she died in 2017, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so she was sadly only 62 years old. Yeah, I think it was quite a short illness. Sadly, I think it was a blood clot or like DVT.
Yeah. It was quite sudden, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then it quite sudden, got hospitalised, and then just things took a downward turn. So yeah, very sad that it all happened so quick and so
especially
young.
when some people in the film like Dick Van Dyke are still alive. We've lost some of the younger cast members. Because how old would she have been in this film? She was born in 55.
30s?
So she's 30, 35, 34, 35. Yeah.
Yeah, 35.
Super young.
Yeah. Wow. I read as well, like another thing was one of the last film that she did was a film with Bill Paxton. Yeah, obviously Bill Paxton died, and she died literally 2 months after he did. But and it was before that film came out. So I was like, oh God, that must have
game over, man. Game over.
Hard. Yeah, game over.
Yeah. No, it's a real loss, and that's why we wanted to give her her own episode to celebrate. Tess and Glenn. I'm sure we've missed some stuff out. If there's any favourite films of hers that we should watch, then please flag them up. I'm going to go and try and find the X-Files and watch her in that.
Yeah, try and find that bit. Yeah, definitely.
Final question: who would play her today? Who do you think would play Tess Trueheart in 2026? Tough, isn't it? Finding an actress that kind of fits that mould.
Yeah. And as actress, if it was going to be similar, kind of mid-30s.
No, answers on a postcard. I can't think of anyone either.
Yeah, you're right. I think that's the one we have to put that out to the rest of the Dick Tracy community to see if they can come up with some good ideas. Yeah, top of my head, I genuinely can't think.
It's that soft-spokenness and that kind of like mother figure, that nurturing side of her. It's just trying to crack who would play that in today's world. And I should have researched that and had like a good brainstorm.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, you're right.
People will email in. Okay, that brings us to the end of the episode, but we always ask before we get to the end, have you made a Dick Tracy purchase this week, James?
I actually have this week.
Falling off my chair.
Yeah, I know. Here we go. I know. It doesn't happen as often for me, does it? But I have made one. It's not directly about the film, but it is Dick Tracy.
Oh, nice.
It is this book, which is the Dick Tracy Casebook. I think it was Stuart who told us about this. So it's all of it. It's from 1931 to 1990. I mean, to be honest, I should have referenced this earlier. And
I'm talking about first appearance. You've probably got it. Yeah.
Yeah. So if this is 31. So her first appearances should actually be in this comic. So it was that thing. I was like, when I was reading up again, I could keep going on about this, about looking back at the rights and stuff. But I was quite interested to know who are all the characters who are in those first comics in 1931. I said, I got it on eBay. It popped up and it was like about 10 quid. I was like, that's not bad. And I was like, I'll just search for it. And then there's another one that was like 3 quid. I was like, oh, done.
Yeah.
So
£3 well spent. That's brilliant.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So plenty, so tons of pages in there. So I'm gonna, work my way through reading the Dick Tracy comics.
It's
So there you
funny
go.
that you purchased that this week because I also made a purchase.
Yeah.
And I purchased
Oh,
the comic books.
hey, lovely. So we both got comic books.
And the artwork is quite different to what I was expecting. It's really look a big boy's face.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a very different vibe to how I thought it was going to be. So
yeah. So when did these comics come out?
I think they're around 1990 or 91. Let's have a look.
So just shortly after the movie, then.
3 of them. Here's the thing: there's 3 of them. These 2 you can get in the UK, a couple of quid here and there, not a problem. The third one is really hard to find in the UK. This morning, I went on Vinted, and you won't believe it, it came up. Like, it came up with the first one again, so I'll give that to you. But in a double pack with the first one for, I think it was £6 or something. So I just bought it straight away. It hasn't arrived yet, but that's a spoiler for next episode. So, but I haven't seen it anywhere. It's just weird that it appeared this morning. So the Dick Tracy gods were shining on me.
Lovely. So was that so the third one you've got to get then? Is that the first issue?
The third one. So the first one is book 1, Big City Blues. The second one is Dick Tracy versus the Underworld. And the third one, I don't think it has a subtitle. I think it's just called Dick Tracy Part 3, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, I was wonder why why that one was so hard to get.
I've never read them, so I will read them, you can read them, and then we'll cover them. Yeah. I'd like to know how they pan out. I've heard good things about them, so yeah.
Oh, cool.
So that's good. Good week of reading for us both.
60 years apart in the comic book.
Yeah, that's it,
isn't it? It's like
I don't know what's canon and what's not, and where the continuity goes. But I did look through, and there is I mean, this artwork's very strange. There is a picture of Tracy wiping Tess's tears as she prunes her flowers. So I can't wait to read it. Anyway, we've talked for far too long. I think we've got far too carried away on this episode. And we haven't even mentioned Batman. I've just done it now. I've ruined it.
Oh, we nearly did it. We nearly made it.
Okay, you've been listening to Talking Dick, the Dick Tracy movie podcast. We'll be back next week. Until next time, keep talking Dick.
Cheers. Thanks for listening. If you'd like to get in touch, you can email us at dtmoviepodcast@gmail.com. You'll also find us on X and Instagram at DT Movie Podcast, or come and join our Facebook group, the Dick Tracy Movie Podcast. We'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to check out our YouTube channel for bonus videos and extra content.